Be a parent, not a friend to your child. And I'm doing it because I just did an interview on The Tonic with Jamie Bussin, which is a popular show in Canada. We're big in Canada, if you didn't know that. But this is a really important issue. Obviously, it hit a nerve for us over here at Reach Out Recovery. My mom was on the interview because as she read the questions and we had gone over them, she thought, well, she actually said to me, wow, I did all of these really, really wrong. So first of all, if you're out there doing all of these things wrong, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice at the end about what to do differently. But I love doing The Tonic. I love working with Jamie Bussin, and I really just wanted to pop on and answer some of the questions that he asked us because I thought that they were so important and topical for right now. So, question number one. There's a popular notion that parents should be their child's best friend. Okay, so the question was, why do you think that message has become so common and what concerns you the most about it? So I think it's become really common for two reasons. I think one, parenting culture made a really dramatic shift towards empathy and emotional openness, which is genuinely a really great thing. But somewhere along the way, it got tangled up with the idea that closeness means equality. And that is not the case. A lot of today's parents are also responding to their own upbringing. So maybe they had parents who were cold or distant or emotionally unavailable. And they made a very understandable vow that they were going to be different. They were going to be warm and open and present for their children. But for a lot of parents, that slid straight into wanting to be liked, thinking that confrontation felt like disconnection, and into oversharing. So, what's concerning about it is that even though it sounds like love, what this is functioning as is burden. It's a burden on the child. Children don't actually need another friend, they have friends. What they need is a parent, someone who can hold the structure without needing to be thanked for it, somebody who can actually absorb their anger and disappointment without falling apart or needing reassurance themselves, someone who is stable and boundaried enough that the child doesn't have to worry about managing the parent's emotional state. Okay, question number two. What does a healthy parent-child relationship look like, and how does it differ from a friendship? This is really easy and it's really clear. A healthy parent-child relationship is warm, it's deeply loving, it's genuinely connected, but it has a clear structure underneath all of that warmth. So let's clarify. Structure in a healthy parent-child relationship simply means that the roles are clear, okay? The parent is the adult. The parent leads the way. The parent is the safe harbor that the child returns to, and it's not the other way around. Friendship is mutual by definition. Both people have equal needs, equal say, equal vulnerability. You go to your best friend when you're falling apart, and they come to you when they're falling apart. But a parent-child relationship is not reciprocal in that way, and it really isn't supposed to be. The parent is supposed to give more. The parent is supposed to hold more. And the parent is the one who has to be able to sit there and be able to hold on to the child's anger and heartbreak without making it about themselves. So, hi, thank you. Thanks for joining me always. I'm always happy to see anybody who jumps on here. So we always really appreciate it when you're watching. So yeah, that's the really important difference between friendships and healthy parent-child dynamics. Okay, the next question is, how can parents recognize the warning signs that they're becoming too emotionally dependent on their children or expecting too much from them? Okay, this is really easy, actually. The clearest warning sign is when you are going to your child for comfort. When something is happening in your life and you immediately want to call your teenage child and tell them what's going on so that they can make you feel better. When you're sharing your worries, but because you need to feel less alone with your worries. Calling your teenager after a hard day just because you want them to make you feel better is not actually helping a teenager. So another big warning sign is that their mood determines your mood, okay? So this is codependency, this is enmeshment, this is exactly what we don't want from parents and children. We want children to be able to have their own moods without a parent taking it on themselves. A big warning sign, if you can't tolerate your child's disappointment or disapproval, if you're backing down from necessary boundaries because you need them to like you, and also when you're sharing things that you really, really shouldn't be sharing. Maybe this is about your own personal relationship problems or your financial issues. But again, these are things that you're sharing to make yourself feel better. This is not something that a child needs to know for their own well-being or safety. Okay, next question. Many parents believe sharing everything with their child builds trust. It's not a bad thought to have. Where should parents draw the line when it comes to discussing their own personal problems or adult issues? So again, a lot of parents want to feel that they have some transparency with their kids, that their kids get to know them, that they know what's going on with them. And that's absolutely normal, and I'm all for it. But while transparency can certainly feel like intimacy, there is a distinction when it comes to age appropriate honesty and, let's call it, emotional dumping. So the line is pretty clear once you're able to ask yourself one question before you share anything significant with your child. And the question is, for whatever you're about to share, whose needs does this serve? If the honest answer is yours and you're sharing it because you need to vent or feel understood, then maybe that isn't information that your child needs to be carrying with them. Maybe that's for your best friend or your therapist or somebody else. So children can certainly understand if the family is under financial distress. And they need to make some amendments in the family and everybody needs to respect that. Sure, that's absolutely appropriate to share. But sharing financial terror, that's causing a lot of anxiety on a kid that they probably can't do anything about. Okay, next question. How can families create healthy boundaries without becoming disconnected? This is a really important question. First and foremost, parents need to understand. It is imperative to understand that children actually feel the most free to fully be themselves and the most free to be vulnerable in families where the structure is clear and the parent is clearly the adult in the room. Okay, so boundaries don't cause disconnection. Boundaries create a structure where children are going to be able to feel more comfortable knowing that they can come and share with their parents, and the parent is going to be able to take that information and they reliably know that the parent is going to be able to hold that information without freaking out or doing something unpredictable. So in creating healthy boundaries, what does that actually look like? It looks like being genuinely interested in your child's life, but without being intrusive. It looks like listening without immediately needing to fix it. Advising, and all of this without immediately bringing your own experience and your own feelings into it. I was talking with somebody the other day, a young lady, and the story she was sharing was, this is a young woman in her 20s, and she was sharing some things that she wanted to do with her life. And these were beautiful things that she wanted to do with her life that involved travel and helping other people. And the mom lost her mind. And the mom was so obsessed with the safety, travel concerns, and the things that she had phobias about, that she was so difficult to her child that had a really good intention that it caused this huge fight and this huge conflict. And that's what we want to avoid. I'm not saying, it doesn't matter that you have concerns, especially if they're safety concerns, but how we share them, how we bring them to our children is really, really important. So also, this is where conversations are about what's happening in their world rather than just the weight of what's happening in your world. It really just means being fully there without an agenda. Okay, so the last question, and this is a quickie, but I really, I just want to make these conversations quick and concise. I'll have a blog up on it, and you can certainly ask questions and get in touch with us and ask more, but this is kind of just the overview. So the last question he asked me was, for parents listening who realize they've blurred those boundaries over the years, so that means you have been talking to your kids like your friends. You have been oversharing. You have been being your child's best friend, afraid of having fights, all these things. What's one practical step they can take today to begin building a healthier relationship with their child? So it's one simple thing. I got one simple tip. Go and find somebody else to talk about your stuff with. Find a friend, find a sponsor, find a therapist, anybody who is not your child. And here's the thing, you don't have to have some big conversation with your children if you want to change things. You just have to make small changes. They will adjust. The minute your child realizes that you're not bringing your problems to them, they will adjust. They're not going to need to have a grand conversation about it. That's the amazing thing about children. So anyway, what we're really trying to do here is create healthy relationships between parents and children, be there for them, both children to be there for their parents in ways that support their parents, and for parents to be good parents in ways that don't unintentionally harm their children. And I really want to end by saying I know that all of this stuff is unintentional. And as my mom read these questions before our interview today, she sort of grimaced, and I'll repeat, she said, I did all of this to you. And what I always want to say, because I do so much in family alienation, is these things I talked about today, the blurring the boundaries, the making a kid your best friend, these are not criminal offenses. I totally am okay that happened. We've worked through it. So, you're not a bad person. And to the kids who maybe experienced this, or adult children who did experience this and are really mad, again, this is not a criminal offense. A lot of these parents just wanted to be close, wanted to build a relationship, and are doing it in the ways that they know how. So anyway, that is enough for today. As always, thank you so much to the people who jumped on and listened. I appreciate you. Please like the video, please follow us. And if you have anything you'd like to see, always put it in the comments and we will bring it forward in the future. All right, take care.